Hey friends, it is July 1st and this is going to be my Big Book Summer Part 2. First I'm going to show you my progress. I read 6 of my big books. Not quite as many as I had hoped for, but I have started 2 other ones and I'm about halfway through with them. So I'm making progress. And that's the point. I'm going to show you all the prompts I have left, even though there's no way I'm going to get through them, just so you can kind of see what my next few books in July will be. All right, starting with the 2 I'm in the middle of. My first prompt was favorite author, and I am listening to Terry Pratchett's The Fifth Elephant on audiobook. I'm about 40% way through this one. It's loving it as much as I love all of Terry Pratchett's books, so there's that. I also had a first in the series prompts, and I'm going with The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. This is about where I'm at there. I was really hoping to finish it by the end of June, but just didn't quite get as much reading done as I thought. I have been loving this one so far. I was very surprised when I met Glokta because I feel like I've heard so many people talk about how much they love Glokta, or maybe they were just talking about Glokta as a fun character. I don't know. But I wasn't expecting the character that popped up. I do still like Glokta. The image in my head was totally different. The vibe was totally different, but I'm not at the end of the book yet, so we'll see. So let's look at what I'm going to be picking up next. The last prompt on that first line is 2023 book goal, which means the first book I'm going to start in July is Wheel of Time number 10. Has me a little bit hesitant to start here because there's a very, very real chance that it could take me 2 days or the first 2 weeks. Keywords might be epic fantasy, chosen one, badass woman. Once I make it through Wheel of Time, I get to do a small book slide, which is where I'll be picking up this beautiful graphic novel, The 11th Hour. This is part of the Dungeons and Dragons podcast done by the McElroy brothers. They use just some really beautiful artwork and colors, so obviously I'm excited to get to that one. After that would be a memoir, and I do have Spare on my list as an audiobook, so once I finish The Fifth Elephant, that's probably what I'll pick up. Another one that I don't know anything about other than it follows Meghan and Harry, so we'll see. I tried to find a blue book on my shelf and couldn't find one over 500 pages, but I do have one that is a sequel to a book I've already read, and that's Jamina. This is the second book after Illuminate. I really loved Illuminate because it has very interesting writing and page stylizations. It made the book very interesting and fun to read. It also made it a quick read, which could be good. I have no idea if Jamina also has those stylized pages or how it even relates to book 1. I think it may follow a sister of one of the main characters in book 1, but I enjoyed it enough that I'm going to pick it up. After that, we have middle book in a series, and this is another one I don't have. I'll probably get on Kindle, maybe audiobook if I have finished Spare, but I doubt it. And that is Red Seas Under Red Skies. This is book number 2 after The Lies of Locke Lamora. I loved The Lies of Locke Lamora, and I really honestly am so excited to pick up book number 2. I think I fell in love with the characters in this book most. They were cunning and just unique enough that I didn't feel like the same fantasy hero over and over again. After that, we have a prompt for a purple cover, which is gonna let me get back into Sanderson with Skyward. This follows a girl who wants to be a pilot to help fight in a war that has been going on for decades, centuries. Unfortunately for her, her father has a reputation as a deserter, so no one really has high hopes or expectations in regard to her. So I'm excited to see her make a name for herself. I've heard good things about this series, and Brandon Sanderson is an author that I blindly trust. I do have a prompt next for a book club book. My last book we haven't discussed yet, so I don't know if we'll have a book at this time, but if we do, I'll let you know. After that, we have flowers on the cover. Thankfully, I accidentally bought this edition. I didn't accidentally buy this edition. This was the only edition in the bookstore that I was at, and I had just read book 2 in this series and was dying for more Rysand. So I picked this up regardless of the fact that it does not match the other covers I have, and it happens to have some flowers on the cover. I've been getting back into fantasy romance with Sarah J. Maas. It's always been a genre I enjoy, but I kind of dip in and out of it throughout the year. One of the quotes or the blurbs on the back says, irresistibly sexy and hypnotically magical, which I think is a good summer read. All right, I have a prompt for a classic because I've been trying to read more classics, and the one I have on my list is House of Leaves, I think. Y'all, I made this list and totally forgot what this book is about and forgot to look it up before this video, so I know nothing. I think it might be true crime-ish or murder mystery-ish, but honestly, I have no idea. I just know it's a classic I potentially am picking up this summer. After that, we have Cat Pit. So here you go. All right, Cinder is here ready to help me choose some books. I have 3 picked out for him. Battle Royale, the kind of predecessor to Hunger Games, is on the list for him. Theft of Swords, I've heard great things about this, but I don't know much about it other than it comes highly recommended. And Kingdom of Copper, the first book is City of Brass, I really enjoyed. I don't know that it's a priority for me, but if Cinder chose any of these, I'd be happy. He definitely wants some belly scratches. Alright, let's get a treat and see what he goes for. I'm going to try and put these down fast because I feel like he's going to go quick if he at all realizes what's going on. Yep, okay. Just the first one he saw, Kingdom of Copper. So that is what I will be reading. I'm really hoping to make it this far in the list because I'm excited to pick up this book, but it's going to be tough. However, my next small book slide, I'm going to put Lore Volume 4. I don't have this. It comes out in June. That means I would have to buy it. Darn. I would be buying this book regardless. I love this series. I reread Lore Volume 1 recently. It's one of those, I've said this every time I talk about it, that I just go back and flip to my favorite panels. I will happily buy this and read this in July, but only if I get there. I'm not gonna let myself read it earlier than this spot on the list. All right, y'all, these prompts are on the very bottom row here. Will I get to them? I doubt it, but I'll still tell you about them just in case. I'm gonna move a little bit quicker though because the chances here are slim. The next prompt is Animal on the cover, and I found this really cute audiobook called The Thursday Murder Club. It's about a bunch of old ladies that get together and talk about true crime, and then someone in their area dies, and so they finally have a murder to solve on their own. It sounds adorable and lots of fun. For a book with 3 colors on the cover, I have The Little Thieves by Margaret Owen. Margaret Owen is another author that I have loved. She does great fantasy retellings that are super unique, but just give you enough of a retelling vibe to really be able to hit that nostalgia. This is a Goose Girl retelling, I think, from the maid who stole the princess's fate, from the maid's point of view. I love the cover. Very interested to see who this guy is. Next up was One World Title, and I'm going with Magic. This is the first book in the Septimus Keep series. I read this so long ago, and I have book 2 on my shelves. This follows the 7th son of a 7th son who actually disappears the night he's born. Don't know if he's kidnapped or what, but the next day, the family finds a little girl on their doorstep. They name her Jenna and they raise her, but they still want to find out what happened to Septimus Heap. For my next prompt, I have On Someone's TBR. I watched Stephanie, which I'll link her channel down below, do her July TBR, and she has the 3rd book in a series that I also need to read. The first book is The Heart of Darkness. It follows a princess who's on the run because she was betrothed and hadn't met the guy yet, wasn't feeling it, so she ran away. And she's followed by the prince and the assassin. And so you meet these two boys, you just don't know which one is the prince and which one is the assassin. Book number 1, I loved. Book number 2, didn't like as much, but I am willing to read book number 3, and it happened to be on her TBR. It'll also help me complete a series. I only have 1 book left, so I feel like it's a great chance for me. For a nonfiction book, I have an audiobook that I found called Steal My Soldier's Heart. This was one my brother recommended. I, again, don't remember anything about it, but I trust my brother's recommendation. He reads a lot of nonfiction. He gave me a whole list of different categories. This was under the war category, and I know that this is his wheelhouse, so I trust that he has picked a good one. Okay, 2 books left. The next one is the final book in a series. For this, I chose Night of the Dragon. I listened to book 1 and book 2 on audiobook. I really love the cute kitsune in this, and the romance was wonderful. Book 2 ended on quite a cliffhanger. The fate of several characters is on the line, so I'm hoping for a happy ending. And the last one I have is anticipated read, and that's gonna go to House of Sky and Breath. I read House of Earth and Blood, the first one in the Crescent City series, in May, and it was exactly what I needed to get through the end of the school year. I'm looking to read this just before the start of the next school year. Real quick, these 2 I am in the middle of, and then these are the ones I have physically. There are a lot that I don't own physically, but all of them are over 500 pages. So let me know what you're reading in the summer. Let me know what's up next or what you're in the middle of, and have a great day. Bye, friends.